Ever get that feeling, that little nudge inside, telling you there's, well, more to you than what you're currently experiencing?
Oh, yeah, that inherent sense of untapped potential. I think a lot of people feel that kind of intuitively.
Well, you're definitely in the right place then. Today on the deep dive, we're diving headfirst into a really fascinating 1970 lecture by Neville Goddard. It's titled God's Plan of Redemption.
And this isn't some dry academic paper, right? It's a direct transcription of Goddard actually speaking to an audience. So you're getting a very direct line into his thinking.
Exactly. Think of this as your express route to grasping some truly mind-expanding ideas about who you really are and the power you possess. Goddard gets into the very nature of reality, which I know resonates deeply with you.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is basically to unpack his core concepts around Christ, the true self, and the incredible creative force of our imagination.
Yeah, we want to try and pull out the most potent insights from Goddard's lecture, offer some clarity and context to ideas that could genuinely, shift your perspective.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Goddard kicks things off by stating that even though everything around us seems to be constantly changing, there's a fundamental, unchanging truth right at the heart of it all.
Right, and he immediately connects this truth to how the Apostle Paul defined Christ, not as a specific person necessarily, but as the power of God and the wisdom of God.
And what's so compelling is how Paul's own understanding seemed to evolve. He admitted, didn't he, to initially seeing Christ as just a man.
He did.
But then his whole viewpoint just underwent this radical transformation. For Paul, Christ became the very embodiment of God's plan for his own personal redemption.
Which is huge, and it's vital to remember Paul's background here. He was a highly educated Pharisee, deeply immersed in the Old Testament.
Right.
And his letters, remarkably, were written before the Gospels we know. They represent this profound reinterpretation of those ancient texts, but seen through the lens of his own, life-altering experiences.
Even his name change holds weight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From Saul to Paul. It's all associated with, as Goddard puts it, an insane king chosen by man. Whereas Paul emerges after that transformative vision. And he goes on writing these incredibly influential letters, always talking about Christ as that inherent creative power, the wisdom of God, emphasizing how boundless this truth is.
And what's fascinating here is Goddard's take on the purpose behind this redemption. He suggests it's not just about turning humanity into something divine,
Great.
but it's also about redeeming God himself, who willingly took on human limitations, vulnerabilities,
Right.
and then returns to that original state, but somehow enhanced, expanded by the whole journey.
Wow. Okay, that leads to a really profound aha moment then. Goddard just comes out and says, you did not begin in your mother's womb. You were in the beginning with God.
Yeah.
You are God. I mean, just think about what that implies for your sense of self, the scope of your potential. It's like realizing you're not just a character in the story, you're the author.
Precisely. And he draws on the Psalms, that plea, rouse thyself, why sleepest thou, O Lord? He sees that as God and humanity being asleep, basically.
Yeah.
Deeply immersed in what he calls the dream of life.
But here's where it gets really, really interesting. Goddard's incredibly empowering message is that while we're in this dream, we actually have the power to shape it, to dream it how we'd like it to be.
It's like lucid dreaming, isn't it? The moment you know you're dreaming.
I gain some control, yeah. He states it so directly. I tell you, you are God dreaming this dream of life.
And that's absolutely foundational to his teaching. He then introduces this principle that the being assuming is God. The power is in our assumptions.
So it really boils down to what we deeply believe is true, yeah, regardless of what our current reality looks like.
Right. Goddard insists that if you can truly believe in your assumption, with unwavering conviction.
Even if reason denies it, senses deny it.
Exactly. Even then, nothing can ultimately stop it from objectifying, from becoming real in your world.
That requires a pretty profound level of inner conviction, though, a faith that goes beyond just what you see or what makes logical sense.
It really does. It's about trusting that inner knowing.
Okay, shifting gears just a bit. Goddard also explores the psalmist's deep yearning for light and truth to guide him towards God.
And he connects this directly to that powerful declaration, I am the light of the world, I am the truth.
But he sees it not just as something one person said historically.
No, more like the unfolding of light and truth within each of us. So that famous line, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light, becomes the personal path to the source, to the Father.
And Paul's big realization that this wasn't about a single historical figure, but a universal blueprint, Christ became the pattern man. That's absolutely key to Goddard's view, isn't it?
Totally. We're told to follow the pattern of the true words, to guard the truth that's within our own being.
And again, Paul's sticking just to the Old Testament, reinterpreting it based on his own awakening. That's huge.
It is. He saw those ancient texts not just as history, but as allegories pointing to this deeply personal internal transformation anyone could experience.
Then, Goddard explains how the gospel writers kind of presented this big cosmic Christ principle in a more relatable form, as the man Jesus, to make these deep ideas easier to grasp.
Makes sense.
He even quotes Tennyson, that line, "For truth embodied in a tale shall enter in at lowly doors."
It's a brilliant way to personify a universal truth, right? Make it tangible, understandable for everyday people.
Now, Goddard introduces a simple technique, something really practical you listening can try. He talks about gently closing your eyes and noticing that luminous golden light that can sometimes appear. Maybe like rings. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, many contemplative traditions talk about encountering some kind of inner light during stillness, yeah. Goddard links it right back to that psalm, "Send me thy light and thy truth to lead me."
And he says, within this silence, using this light, you can vividly imagine a friend, say, getting the good thing they desire, but always with the golden rule in mind.
Right, asking nothing for someone you wouldn't genuinely want for yourself.
The key thing, he says, is the power of your word when you send it out on this inner light. Why? Because God became you.
And the name of God, he reminds us, is that simple, profound statement, I am.
He really emphasizes that the proof is in the pudding, basically. The effectiveness of this, the way it shows up in your reality, that's its own validation. And this experience of the golden light, it's not something you have to wait for, like reaching some high spiritual level. It's already there, because God, that divine essence, is already within you.
So the ultimate goal, in Goddard's view, is finding the Father, and he's very clear. The Father is located within the dark convolutions of the human brain. It's an inward journey.
Not looking outside yourself. He makes that point really strongly. You won't find the Father out there. Instead, the big experience is encountering someone who recognizes and calls you Father.
Which ties into Jesus's response to Philip, right? He who has seen me has seen the Father.
Exactly. It suggests the Father isn't some separate being in the sky, like we usually think.
No. And Goddard elaborates, describing this future inner experience where you encounter your son David, who calls you Father. And that triggers this profound awakening from what he calls the long, self-imposed sleep.
He brings in that quote, "No man takes away my life, I lay it down myself," pointing to the deliberate, voluntary descent of the divine into this human experience.
It's like God choosing to play all the parts in this huge drama, and the sum total of all those projected experiences culminates in the figure of David, the one who calls you Father.
So the search for the ultimate source of everything, of all life's phenomena, it leads you back to realizing that God is your own wonderful human imagination.
That's the core realization.
So the path isn't through external stuff, rituals, doctrines, it's through achieving purity of heart. But what does that really mean for Goddard?
He defines it as the death of delusions, shedding those ingrained beliefs in superiority based on race, religion, social status, all that.
Oh.
He says the divine within you will actually lead you through experiences designed to shatter those limiting false beliefs.
He gives examples, doesn't he? Like unexpected help coming from people you might hold prejudices against.
Right. Powerful illustrations that ultimately everyone will awaken to their own divine nature. We're all going to come out of this world as God.
Which kind of leads naturally to the idea of ascension. Goddard quotes, "No one ascends into heaven but he who descended from heaven, the Son of Man," linking it back to our pre-existence.
Yeah, before this earthly gig. And he draws this really interesting parallel between ascension and lifting up the serpent in the wilderness, describing it as a deeply personal internal event, being split in two, this fiery golden light rising up within like a serpent.
And since the kingdom of heaven is within you, ascension isn't about going up somewhere else.
No, it's a return within, to the fullness of your own being. And the being that returns is the Son of Man, implying that's our shared potential.
He circles back to that psalm again. "Rouse thyself. Why sleepest thou, O Lord? The Lord sleeping within us."
During the stream of life, but always with that immense creative power of imagination available to us in the dream.
Okay, to really bring this power of feeling and imagination home, Goddard tells that story, that anecdote about the woman who wanted $10 million.
Ah, yes, that's a classic. He focuses on how she practiced hearing her desire fulfilled in the silence, sending that feeling out on the light,
believing that words do not return void.
Exactly. And then what happened was pretty amazing.
Right. Her brother gets this unexpected inheritance, and then these two elderly women who apparently had nothing suddenly become millionaires and just generously give her the exact amount she desired.
It's wild. But Goddard connects it all back to her growing into the consciousness of being wealthy. It underlines how much our state of consciousness shapes our reality.
Like fishing with the right bait. Your inner state attracts matching experiences.
That's the analogy, yeah. Poverty, wealth. They aren't fixed things out there. They're states of consciousness in here. And the name of God, I am, is the same power, whether you're saying I am poor or I am wealthy.
He quotes Blake here too, doesn't he? About the just and the wicked just being different states of the sleep the soul falls into.
Right. It offers a different lens on human behavior. Even negative actions stem from a state, and sometimes the worry is more about getting caught than the act itself.
So the incredible power lies in consciously choosing your state. But Goddard adds that crucial reminder. Apply the golden rule when you're shaping those desires.
Yeah, he addresses the potential criticism of greed, suggesting it's often about perspective. Sometimes those who shout loudest against wanting abundance secretly long for it themselves.
Okay, so he brings us back again to Christ within, quoting, "The truth of Christ is in me."
Reiterating that Christ is that power and wisdom inside everyone. It's moved beyond just seeing him as one historical person.
He interprets "I am crucified with Christ" as that divine power being initially sort of veiled or limited by humanity.
Right, crucified on humanity.
And then individually awakening, ascending, returning to that pre-descent state, the Son of Man, but richer for the experience, having overcome death.
And he warns against looking outside, turning to false gods during this very personal inner awakening process.
He hits us with Blake again. Why stand we here trembling around, calling on God for help, and not ourselves, in whom God dwells?
Such a powerful question.
And the answer, Goddard drives home, is that the God we're looking for is our own wonderful human imagination.
How do you prove it? He gives a method, right?
Yeah, a very direct one. Bring a scene to your mind's eye that implies you already are the person you want to be.
And then reenact it in your imagination. Subjectively feel that objective hope as if it's real right now.
Exactly. He stresses capturing the feeling until it feels totally natural, completely real inside you. He says doing that sends this creative impulse out.
And it subtly compels others, circumstances, everything to kind of line up and help bring it about. But he advises doing it with love.
Always with love. He points to Paul's conversion again, when it pleased God to reveal his Son in me, emphasizing it happens within.
And the Son revealed is your Son, ultimately leading to that core realization, I am is the truth of your being.
Then he gets into that intricate relationship between the Father and the Son. That idea that no one really knows the Son except the Father, and vice versa.
It sounds paradoxical, but he quotes, "The Son who is in the bosom of the Father, he hath made him known." Meaning the Son, symbolized by David for Goddard, is the one who reveals you as the Father.
It ties into, "Call no man on earth Father, for you have but one Father who is in heaven, but heaven is within you."
So finding the Father isn't about looking up, it's about that inner recognition through the Son calling you Father.
And Goddard really encourages us. Use your imagination, bring good things into the world for everyone, because we're all interconnected, all brothers, all these divine beings, Elohim, who came down for this experience.
He warns again, though, don't look for external saviors, holy places, rituals.
Well, it comes back to, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
And he explains that someone who's had this awakening might seem strange to others because they see everyone simply operating within different states of consciousness. No judgment.
Just understanding that this whole drama of life is about falling into states, and the goal is to wake up from the suffering ones until you find that Father, your true self, within.
The Father you're seeking is yourself, built within you through all this.
And God appears not as some separate being, but in the form of your son David, revealing you as God the Father. Goddard sounds pretty confident that this truth is undeniable eventually.
Yeah, he references Psalm 2. Thou art my son, today I have begotten thee, identifying David as the son of God, and points out how in Acts, servant, referring to David, can also mean son.
Right, reinforcing that connection.
But Goddard is clear. This kind of revealed truth, this inner knowing, you can't prove it logically. It's accepted by faith, by inner conviction.
But he reassures you, even if you reject it now, you'll eventually embrace it. Everyone returns to their true being, the Elohim.
No one gets lost. That's a message of incredible hope, isn't it? Even those in really negative states, the Hitlers, the Stalins, they're still brothers to be redeemed from those states.
So it comes back to actively redeeming ourselves and others from limiting states, loneliness, poverty, whatever it is, remembering that pattern God set in the beginning.
He quotes John 10:30, I and my Father are one, but acknowledges John 14, my Father is greater than I.
Yeah, the apparent contradiction.
But he clarifies it's about office, like the sender being greater than the one sent, not about a difference in their essential being. It all boils down to that fundamental unity. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
Wow, okay, so bringing it all together from this deep dive into Goddard,
Yeah.
the core idea is you are essentially God dreaming this human journey through your imagination.
Yeah, and your assumptions, what you truly believe and feel, are actively creating your reality.
And the ultimate quest isn't out there, it's the inward journey to find the Father within you, which happens when your son David recognizes you.
These are really transformative concepts, aren't they? They invite you to completely reevaluate how you see yourself in the world.
Absolutely. And that leads us right to our final provocative thought for you listening. If your own wonderful human imagination truly holds this immense creative power, what reality will you consciously choose to imagine and truly embody starting right now?